Okay, so time for showing up. I'll be reading for the next few weeks. I named this video "Going Out with a Bang," and I am. So I had said last time that I was gonna check out less books, but didn't end up working. It was one of those things where I just kept checking out books, and I was like, that's not that much. And I counted, and it was like, oh, it kind of is. And I'm glad I did that because you'll see what I got. Mild spoilers. There's some I've been waiting for a long time that came in. It was like almost all. It was all of them. First up is a movie, and this is a hint as to what one of the books will be, but this is The Batman. I watched it before. I liked it enough, but the only reason why I'm watching it again is because there's a certain comic book that's the prequel to this book that I got. Those of you know what I'm talking about already know what it is. Then we got one I've been waiting so long for, but I found out about this book not too long ago, found out who wrote it, and I was like, okay, let's check this out, and I put it in, and it was checked out. It was like checked out of every library, and it was a pretty new book too. So I was like, okay, I'll wait a few minutes, wait a few weeks, and I was still checked out. And I put it in. I was like, you know what? I'll put it in, and the second it arrives at the library, I can get it. Then I will, I'll get it. And I got it for this week, and that is Ruined by Sarah Vaughn. Sarah Vaughn was the writer of Sleepless, which I really, really liked, and since then I've been kind of like, every now and then I'm like, okay, let's check out this book, and by her. It's a pretty long book too, but flipping through it, yeah, there's a lot of like splashy pages. It's not here. Nope, not here. But it's gonna take a long time to read. It's probably the one of those ones I say is too long. This is all in one. This is what we call OGNs, and they're all in one. It's all like all in one. Like there's no like, isn't like, it's not like it collects issues 1 through 12 of Ruins. No, it's all in one. So I read it all at once. Even if it goes by chapter, I still read it all at once. I probably will break that rule for some books. My reread blankets, I'll definitely break that rule because it's 600 pages. But for the most part, I like to just, read all at once. Scott Pilgrim Volume 6, and this is pretty long, but this will take me no time at all to but this one will take me, it won't feel that long, because if it's anything like the previous volume was, it will be be quick. I'll probably read this first and foremost, because this is a reread too, by the way, but I don't remember how long each volume took me to read, but it's one of those books I've really liked to come to reread. Now, this next one you might see in a comic hall soon. I had gotten their library's copy because I was kind of like, there's just so many different, like, it's for every pro of buying it, there's also a con, and that is Cosmic Detective. Now, this is written by Matt Kindt and Jeff Lemire. It actually has his name first, Jeff Lemire. Now, if you know me, you know that I like to get everything an author has written for Image Comics. And Jeff Lemire, I don't have everything he's written besides Cosmic Detective. No, I have there's a lot I need to get from Jeff Lemire. He keeps writing books for Image Comics. Done 3 different series now. So it's one of those things. But I could say, oh well, it's more of a Matt Kindt book, or oh, I'm getting it because it would be the last David Rubin book I would need. But I don't count that for illustrators, for artists. I just do it for authors. But they have it at the library, and if it's good enough, I will definitely think of buying it myself, but time will tell. I mean, it is on my little wish list kind of thingy on Amazon, so you never know. So this one is The Mysteries. I've heard a lot about this, but I haven't heard too much. But I forget who was talking about. Because I remember on Amazon, it shows up on Amazon all the time when I'm looking up other books, and I feel like someone had said something about it, and they said it's really good. The only thing about this book is it's not a comic. It's a picture book, but for adults. See? So, and it does look like it will take no time at all to read. I keep saying that's good because I checked out 5 OGNs. Usually I do 4 because I have one for each day. Cause I start reading all the other books on Monday. Now, you'll see what I mean by the other books. Basically, it's the ones that go by issues. I start out that on Monday. But it's usually because the weekends is usually a time for we'll watch a movie, or we'll do this, or we'll have something else going on the weekend. So I always have that open as I possibly can. But yes, The Mysteries by Bill Watterson of Calvin and Hobbes fame. right? I'm almost positive. No, it's not saying. It's funny. It's by Andrews McNeil Publishing. I always know them as, I believe at least, they're the ones that do all like the comic strip reprints. Like for Big Nate, I believe that was Andrews McNeil, and Peanuts and Calvin Hobbes. To get this, and it's like, oh, okay, that's not exactly for kids. It was in their adult section, so that's why I'm saying it. I don't know for sure, but I'm almost positive. Then there was a Jeremy Holt book, and Jeremy Holt had written Made in Korea that I really liked. I never expected to find Skip to the End, but I did. I was like, why didn't I look that up before? I swear to God I did, but I just didn't show up. I looked it up on their because they have two catalogs. One works really well, and one doesn't. And the one that doesn't is all the libraries in general. But the new system is just like your local libraries, the ones that like don't, like the ones like actually I don't even know if it's the local ones either. But it's 14 libraries they chose or whatever. Don't know how or why they chose it, or like what their thought process was behind choosing it. But it's 14. But there's still other libraries. That's why I have to use both systems to check out books. And I guess I just didn't. I always do the main one, the one that's all the libraries. When I'm checking out books, I don't know what they have. Like, I was like, oh, what has Jeremy Holt written? That's here. What has Jason Aaron written? That's here. And I guess I just did that on their system, and it didn't show up. But got it now. Does it say new? It doesn't even say new. Like Cosmic Detective did. And yes, I can definitely tell what publisher I like most, because I always say, oh, I'm booking this myself, and it's almost always an Image comic. Like, kind of like with Cosmic Detective. Or I'll get a book that a library had, and I say, oh, a library had, I really liked it, so I bought it myself. Almost all those have been Image comics recently. Past like 2 years, I'd say. But getting ones that a library had has been fairly recent. For the longest time, I was like, I don't want to do that, because I had so much else to get. And now I'm like, I can't shut that part of my brain off anymore, so I'm like, alright, we're going there now. But now we're on to the books that, first 13 are rereads, but 2 of them I'm going to, because I checked out 27, I'm going to do 25. 25 is like, no more, no less. And, well, at least for right now. And I have 27 of these ones, like the ones that are like, go by issue by issue. I'll take 2 of them out, too, if I can at least. I'll take 2 of them out. And then, about 25. Yeah, you'll see why that happened. I'll explain why that happened. Oh, there's a little sticker here. Get that out of there. Weird little bookmark thing. Little magnet bookmark. I'll try again. I'll put it right here, because they probably need it back. Well, this is going to be the first time I'm going to be reading Moon Girl and Devil's Dinosaur in this digest format. I've read all the volumes, except for one issue. One issue was not collecting the volume. I believe it's one of these here. It was like I believe it's actually a World Outside Your Window issue, where it dealt with like a subject matter. Like they had one that dealt with school shootings. That was a Champions issue. They had one that dealt with drug addiction, and that was that they had collected all those into this thick tray. I really hope they have at my local library. Have like all those issues in them, like the very special issues. And I think you can do that really well. I actually heard the Champions one is done superbly well. It's actually written by Jim Zub too. Yes, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur digest version. And I'll be doing the same for the next one, because the next one is collects the last however many issues are collected in each digest. I'd say 12. The last one collects the final 12 issues or so. So I'll be doing that for the next volume of this. And I have it there too. They have it there too. Speaking of Jim Zub, Figment. It's one I read before. I liked it enough, and I was like, you know what? Check it out again. Spider-Gwen. Now this is the one that I always will hate because it collects like nothing. I don't know why they didn't collect the crossover with Spider-Woman. Like they could have done like these issues. Basically what's collected in here is what's collected in the actual volume. Like volume 3 of Spider-Gwen would collect this. It's like 8 to 15, and then an annual for Wolverine, because they have a crossover with Wolverine. They probably could have put the Spider-Woman one in there too, and still charge it the same price, and still had like like just always 2 volumes in one for digest. This is just one. We have Ironheart. This is the Eve Ewing run. I remember not liking this one too much, but rereading it again. And I don't know why I decided to reread Ironheart, honestly. Like, what? I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to reread it in general. No idea. The final volume of Kelly Sue DeConnick's Captain Marvel run. This is 12, 13, 14, 15. So I probably should read this right away. $12.99 at least. They're like, okay, we're only gonna give you 4 issues, but we're only gonna charge you $12.99. That is really nice on Marvel's part. I don't know. What they've been doing recently is it only collects 4 issues, so the series is only 4 issues, unless issue 1 was like really long, or the issues themselves are longer than your average issue length. They would give you like, oh, a random issue from the first appearance or something like that. They give like an issue from yesteryear. Usually something from Silver Age or Bronze Age, maybe like Modern Age or like that. What's after Bronze Age? Like the 80s, like that kind of stuff. Like, yeah. Ghost Rider Volume 2. Hellboy Volume 2. This is the really good This is the not Ghost Rider Volume 2, all new Ghost Rider Volume 2. Here's what I'd like to mention about this one. Just I really liked it. I remember it gets really insane. It's really damn good. There's one after this. They have a complete collection for this series, which is the version I would recommend getting. They have like a follow-up series. I think the follow-up series doesn't even follow Ghost Rider. It's like these random people, and like occasionally you go back to Ghost Rider. But I'm no longer a completist when it comes to that kind of stuff, at least for Marvel, so it doesn't matter to me. A water damage version of Hellboy Volume 2, I just noticed. So, I'm planning on reading this and Captain Marvel as the right aways, because I have to do that right away, so that's what I'll do. So if I know I have too much checked out, I'll read, like, let's say I have 27, so I'll take 2 out of that, so it's back to 25. And usually I do the rereads. It'll be 11 rereads at that point, which is perfect. Well, could be better, but perfect as compared to last time, which is like, what, 21? 19, actually. It's a lot. I try my best this time to make it more for like reading them for the first time than rereads. Batman Volume 5. This is getting closer and closer to the infamous 50th issue. That, yes, I have read. That was actually, ironically enough, where I dropped it. Where I stopped reading, because it didn't have anything after that. I think maybe it was a volume after, but whatever volume collects the wedding issue was that volume. I think it was the wedding. It was actually called The Wedding. Maybe one volume afterward, but I remember that was, ironically enough, where it left off. And what's funny about that is that the new system has the next few volumes I missed. And I think everything. They at least have the Batman Catwoman one that came out recently. But yeah, they have it. Doctor Strange volume, I'm not 100% sure, but it does they have it. It's like they have volume 15 or whatever, and it's like, okay, you gotta have the volumes before that, right? Doctor Strange Volume 4, last volume in Jason Aaron's run. All-Star Batman Volume 2. Continuing the Scott Snyder. Still on the rereads, by the way. We got like 2 more rereads. 3 more rereads. And we're done. I did this. Not including this. It's 4 including this. Why the Last Man Volume 2. I had checked this out along with Volume 1. So what happened was, TLDR, they checked out, the way their system is it says, Why the Last Man Book 1, for Book 1 and Book 2. I don't know why, but because they didn't know any better, they checked out Volume 2, and the call number was Y2, so I called them, like, what the hell's going on here, and then they figured it out, and I was like, okay. And then I checked out Volume 1, and when I got to the library, both 1 and 2 were checked out for me, and it's like, you know what? Because Volume 1 was, like, checked out of, like, almost every library, including my own, like, the local one, I knew they had it, let's do 2. Because for local library books, you can check them out 3 times. And then just, in general, on that system, because they're part of the same system, you can check them out 3 times. Actually, no, you can't, not for every one, but at least the local library, you can do that. I'm confusing the hell out of you viewers. I am sorry for that. But local means the library I go to pick up books. Local library means like interloans. They take their books from their library and bring it to yours, so it's all in one place. But yeah, local library had first 3 volumes. I was like, you know what? Let's do that for the first 2, so it doesn't happen again where it's checked out. And I will check ahead of time for volume 3, of course. I almost got myself, and I probably should have gotten myself, but I was already banking. It's already like, should I? With that with volume 2, so didn't want to get the same mistake again. Volume 11 of Walking Dead, 2 more, and I have to see if they have the 14th and 15th and 16th volume hardcovers at the local libraries in the new system. They should. The new system, they actually updated it, and they give you recommended books, and this is always, they always do the hardcovers, and I've read those volumes already. So they should hopefully have, should hopefully always be reading, should always, I say it so awkwardly, but it should always, you know what I'm getting at. Sin City Volume 2, Library Edition. For the rest of this series, I'll be reading it in the oversized Library Edition, because that is the way to read Sin City. Local library had Volume 1 in that digest size, so it's like, you know what, let's just do it. And it was kind of like, what do you call it, spur of the moment kind of thing. I kind of remembered that. I was like, let's get that. And it was too late to put it in for the new system. In the new system, the new system is like, you can get that day. And it was too close to when I was going to the library last time, so it's like, you know what, let's not do that. What I like about this is that for the covers, they use like this really thick matte paper. I don't know, it's called matte. I don't even know if it's called matte paper, but it's really nice paper with the covers. And they actually do this. This is what I want for them to do for the covers before the issues, like how it was presented originally, even with the price tag. I don't know why they don't do that. Like almost every, if not every Robert Kirkman book from Image Comics, no covers. Not even at the end sometimes. You have to get these like omnibus size books, the deluxe editions to get that. And it's not a deal breaker for me, so I don't like, if it's cheaper to get the soft covers, I'll do that. Or if it's less cost effective to get the hard covers, I won't get that. But usually, and especially recently, I've been more and more comfortable getting hard covers. For the longest time, I was like, nope, I'm getting the soft covers. It's more, instead of being 3 books I got this month, it'd be 6 if I just get that. So let's do that. But nowadays, I'm like, no, get the hard covers. They're more cost effective. Almost always more cost effective. Let's just do that. Or compendiums. There's another, speaking of Image, this is Outpost Zero. Now, I didn't think they had this book. I just kind of completely forgot about it. Ironically enough, in Walking Dead, I talked about Outposts. And I was like, oh yeah, it's a series by Image Comics, same publisher that publishes Walking Dead, called Outpost Zero. And it was supposed to be really damn good. Let's see, they have the complete collection, which is everything at once, hence the complete collection. They did. Now, as you can tell, this is a digest size. And as far as like owning books goes, I already don't like it when a series that's originally an OGN is digest size from Image Comics. So something like this, where the individual volumes are collected in here, were normal paperback size, I'm kind of like, eh. But I might break that rule and get it, because it's kind of like, if I really like it, I will, but I don't know. One of those things kind of like flip-flop, like, you shouldn't. Now, this is a Skybound comic book, and the other Skybound comic book is Scurry. And the only reason why I didn't get Scurry right away when I first had Jesus Christ. First of all, the local library had it, so it's like, get it there. But even like breaking that rule, the only reason why I didn't do that is because of this. They don't have that there, that image thing. So when it's on my shelf, it's gonna look weird. So for this one, I'm kind of like, well, should I get Scurry along with it? Like, I'm trying to tell myself that, to not get it. But if I get Cosmic Detective, you might as well get the other one. Kind of like as a, I don't know. We'll see soon here. To not get when I finally can purchase books myself at the end of the month. I actually am waiting a bit longer because of the fact that there's 2 books that are pre-orders. But anyways, moving on. Deathstroke Volume 1. Finally getting to this series. This is when like with Outpost Zero, a lot of people have been raving about this series, and like with Outpost Zero, I didn't think they had it. They did. Catwoman Volume 1 by Joelle Jones. For whatever reason, I thought this was kind of, it might still be that, but this was like collecting Catwoman issues 25 to 30, and it was like after the New 52 run when it came to Convergence. But I don't think it is, because the way that the spine is, I think this was kind of like 2018. It's really weird to explain to someone who doesn't keep track of that, but it does look like it's one of those things. Yeah, it collects 1 through 6 of Catwoman, so there you go. But hell, it could be like the one after Rebirth Catwoman. They didn't have that Rebirth Catwoman series. Empire. This is one that I'm meaning to read. Never got around to it. The longest time I didn't want to read it because it's not. This isn't the. There's a prelude to this, but I was like, you know what? Screw it. I can't imagine to be too terribly confused. There is one issue that I have that is a prelude. That's the incoming issue, that like thick one that came out with a few years ago. And I'm very late to the party too with this, as far as this is concerned. Also, Hawkeye. This is the recent Hawkeye series, the Kate Bishop Hawkeye series that didn't get the best reviews. That's one of the ones that I like to throw those in there every now and then, or honestly, like every week, or every time I go with this at this point, to throw in one of these. It's like not the best review, but they have it. Let's read it once and for all and judge it for ourselves. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I heard a lot good about. I keep thinking it's 4 issues, but it's 5. But this is by Derek Landry. And he's been doing a lot of these things where, a lot of these series where it seems to be out. Yeah, no, Landy, not Landry. Landy, Derek Landy. He seems to be doing these things where it almost seems like it's out of continuity. So someone like me who hasn't been catching up with Captain America, I can read this as, you know, knowing enough about Captain America, knowing enough about Falcon. Knowing enough. Oh, it's Falcon Winter Soldier. Sorry. So knowing enough about Falcon, knowing enough about Winter Soldier, I can read this just fine. I don't have to have read the Ed Brubaker series. I just had to have known, like, you know, bits and pieces of that run, kind of thing. Gwenpool Volume 2. Series has been pretty good so far. This one is the last book that of those few that were like, oh, no other library had it, so I could put it in from my local library to get. And if it was new enough and they think that enough people would read it, they would get it for me. There's one other one they didn't get. I'm surprised they didn't get it. It was a new book, and I'm sure a lot of people have read it, but it was Murder World by Jim Zub. And what was really annoying is I thought of buying it myself, because I'm like, I haven't seen it for a long time. Let's get it. It was all on sale, too, for $3. That entire trade. Like this thick. This thick. So it's kind of like, should I get it? I didn't. But finally, I can read Clobber in Time. This is a book that's so new that I bet they had to wait a few. When I put it in, they had to wait a little bit because it had just come out that week. No, it only says 2023 for the printing. Huh? I thought it was 2024. But this is written and drawn by Steve Scrosay. So this is like a must-own, must-read for me. Because I need to say, this is the only Steve Scrosay book they have at my local library. Any library has locally that isn't one I own already, because all they have is like Image Comics stuff. Like they have Maestros, they have Post Americana, and they have Wasteland and Guard. All 3 of which I own now. So how much I like those books. The Wasteland and Guard he just the artwork for, but Brian K. Vaughan wrote the story, but he did the artwork for it. Lumberjanes. Hopefully this one is a bit better. And it still is good, but it's just kind of like one of those series that as each volume comes along, it actually feels a bit longer too. I remember the first 2 volumes, at least, the ones that are written by Grace Ellis, were extremely fast-paced and pretty funny, honestly. Like the comedy in it, yeah, it was kind of not everyone's gonna find it funny. Some might find it annoying, but it's just endearing and cute and like innocent enough that I actually liked it. But your mileage may vary. It's a good word to use. Silk Volume 1. Now there's a Volume 0 that I read before, but this is Volume 1. Because I guess that 7-issue, she has 7-issue mini-series before she had her ongoing. Now this one collects. Actually, this one also does collect 7 issues too, but one of them is Amazing Spider-Man issue 1, which unfortunately I think might be by Dan's slot. It might be that run, but I can't tell. I actually can't even tell if it's material from Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, I think it is. Yep, it's material from Amazing Spider-Man issue 1. Because they don't give you the cover. Let's see what they do. See how long it is. Yeah, not too long at all. But yeah, that Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 was like a big book. It was like 45 pages, and it must have had a Silk. Well, it had a Silk story in it. Like it was like an anthology. It had a bunch of stories in it. One of them must have been Silk. Yeah, it is at 2015. And why I said unfortunately is because even Dan Slott Spider-Man fans did not like that run. It got like he had a 2014 run that was like a kind of revamped series, rebooted series. Then it got rebooted again for 2015 and became like a really rich Tony Stark. Basically, it was just like Tony Stark, and it was really damn boring. Like I've tried to get into that run from the 2015 series. So apparently, I can't start with 2014 series, mainly because of Spider-Verse. But I might just break that and get it. I don't know. But yeah, when I got into 2015 series, I could never finish it. It was that bad. The volume itself, the issues I could finish, but just barely. Like, honestly, just barely. Even the issues themselves. Doesn't that give you the contents or the... No, looks like it does. It does. Channel 0. This is one of those books I put in, and they said, nope, we don't got it. And it was so strange. Because I know they had it, because it said the library had it. And I was like, alright, you don't have it. The library must have lost the book, something like that. And I put it in again, and sure enough, they had it. And this is a complete collection, too. Now, this is Dark Horse. This is one of those books that went from Image Comics to Dark Horse. And I almost want to say it's like volumes that were coming out were from Image, and like say like issue 15 was Dark Horse. Like he's like Brian Wood has sold the rights to Dark Horse. So like it's one of those things. Like the complete collections from Dark Horse, I'm not gonna include it as an Image comic. But I know at the very least the first volume is Image Comics. Wow, Warren Ellis takes it. Yeah, good praise. Oh, Dark Horse Original. Does that mean that... I almost want to say that means that it could have been on Comixology. Because I had one that was a Ray Fox book. And I found that out when I got home. I was like, oh, they had this on... I could have read this for free on the Kindle because of Comixology Unlimited. We'll check after. We only have like 3 more books to go over, so... You know. This one is one I've heard nothing about. It was when I came across. I was looking at. I had a few extras. I should have known. I should have kept it. Like saying, well, these two. What's it called? Clobber in Time could have come in along with. Well, the other one was I can't think of it off the top of my head. There's 3 I want to say, including the one I haven't shown yet. But what I didn't know at the points at that time. By that point in time, I was like, you know what? I have a few open slots. So let's get the illegitimate from IDW. So I'm just doing random ones. Just like whatever. See this one? They have this one. But I heard no anything about this series. I'm going completely blind. I don't even know who the writer is. I know the artist, Mark Andreyko. That's about it. This next one, I mistaken. So this one is a long time coming, and for the longest time, I just associated because it is a From the World of Hellboy book. So I always associate this one with being written by being written by Mike Mignola, and just for the longest time, that's what I thought it was written by or at least the artwork of Mike Mignola, but it doesn't. Mike Mignola's name is nowhere on here, not even as an artist, and that is The House of Lost Horizons, a Sarah Jewell mystery. This is actually written by Chris Roberson, who I read his British Paranormal Society, which I thought was just okay. Hopefully this one is at least more interesting. But the artist is Leila Del Duca. And if you've been keeping up, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you will already know that this is a double this is a double whammy. You got Chris Roberson, who wrote I Own Sovereign from Image Comics, and Leila Del Duca did the artwork for Sleepless, which I just mentioned, and did her own Image Comics series that she wrote called Afar. But the artist that did Norway did the artwork for that, not her. Maybe she did some of it, but it's just as far as we'll check it. We'll check in a few seconds here. But as far as I can tell, it's that other person, the artwork. I forget what her name is, but it's whoever did the artwork for Norway. Kat Seaton or Kit Seaton, one of those. And then, last but certainly not the least, this is the one I was alluding to before, and that is Riddler Year 1. Now, sometimes I will just put in a book purely because of the fact that, screw it, it's a, I break my rule. And this is the prequel to the Batman. This is written by even written by Paul Dano. Now, it's kind of funny as this says 17 and up, but the Batman is PG-13. And the longest time, we all thought the Batman would be R-rated. So it's kind of funny we got a prequel comic that is 17 and up, like R-rated movies are. So, yeah, it's when I usually, so stuttery. I wouldn't have bought this myself because of the fact that I don't like to do, like, those licensed comics. Like, I'll probably never buy the Injustice comics. I'll probably just actually have the two omnibuses at my local library anyways, interloans, so I'll just get it there. But even if they didn't, even if I wasn't collecting Image comics and instead collecting DC comics instead of Image, I probably still wouldn't have bought it. Like, I was always kind of like to budget myself. I was always like, nah, let's put that off. So it's pretty much just a budget myself, and all this stuff because I like to keep those separate. It's a weird little like rule of mine, but as far as books that I don't own go, it's free reign. Hence why back in like what was it, June or August, I checked out. No, it was July, I think it was. But back in the summer of 2023, I checked out The Incredibles comics. Yes, the Pixar cartoon, The Incredibles came out with the comic series. It was okay. It was written by Mark Waid. So I was like, oh my god, Mark Waid. And then Landry Q. Walker, who I got in his in July, it was August. In July, I got in Landry Q. Walker's, 2 Image comic series he did. One was The Last Siege, or Last Siege, that series. And then he'd done, this other superhero book. But there's The Incredibles, Volume 2 was co-written by him. And that was kind of when it got, like, that was at the point was I was like, why am I even reading this? What the hell am I doing? But that, as I say, is that. So, it was just one of those things, like, where, the Riddler came in, and I finally got Clobber in Time, and what's the other one? I'm trying to look through them. I'm gonna look through them and see if I can tell. Yeah, Clobber in Time, I cannot wait to read. And yeah, it should be the last, whatchamacallit book there. The last one that they have that, the local library had, kind of, that kind of thing. Oh yeah, let's check that Afar book. I'm just gonna say from here. Of course I kicked the book. I hate when that happens. I have book stacks and I don't look like I'm going, so to speak, and I kick it. It doesn't say. Nope, written. Just written by her. Kit Seaton is the artist. Back in there. Yes, Kit Seaton is the artist of that book. I just take my bag too. Alright. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I named it all. Why do I say the weirdest things? I guess Ruin was one I was waiting a long time for. I finally found, skip to the end. But yeah, that, as I say, is that. Yeah. I don't know, I always feel like I have something I forgot to mention. I'll mention it here at the end of the video, but I don't.